And I want to come on here because it's been brought to my attention that, oh yeah, first it was the grills, you designing grills, now it's candles, and just a big hee hee ha ha, spit in your face, But luckily, since I am on this healing journey, I get to take that energy and I get to talk to y'all about it. You see what I'm saying? I get to create something and that's more meaningful to me, that allows me to sleep good at night. You see what I'm saying? That's where this whole Evolve brand come from. I wanted something that could go with me while I'm on my healing journey, which I now listen to this podcast this morning. It's confirmed that you're going to forever be healing. So it really is a lifestyle. So I wanted something that I could carry with me in during my process of healing, that represents me. And that's where Evolve came from. During my darkest hours, I came across an old man who's mastered his craft, and he's taught me a lot of life lessons. And he's not my father, but he definitely, maybe he's my father in spirit or something. But we connect, and he pulled me in, and he taught me how to use that motherfucking sewing machine. I've always wanted to use that motherfucker. I always knew how to sew buttons and sew holes up in your pants, but I never knew that one day I would be able to work that motherfucker sewing machine. It is legit art to it. But anywho, he took me in, and not only did he teach me the things that was taught to him, in the midst of all that, he's literally giving me life lessons. And the motherfucker is cold, you hear me? One of the first lessons that he taught me on the sewing machine was how to slow down and just stop when you feel like you're not focused. Just stop where you at, because you could fuck up. And I lied to you not. The next class, I fucked my finger up. I mean, that motherfucking sewing machine ate my shit. You feel me? But it wasn't that I wasn't, not doing my work, but I wasn't completely focused. Even though it appeared that I was, my mind was somewhere else. So the next class, he ended up teaching me the difference between the mind and the brain. I went to school. I even got some college, in me. But not one time did nobody ever describe the difference between the mind and the brain, right? He told me, and this is one of the biggest life lessons I will never forget. He told me there's a difference between the mind and the brain. The mind is more abstract. The mind is, as he would paint it, it's like clouds. It's like you can, that's where your creativity stems from. You know what I'm saying? As individuals, there may be a seed that pop in your head, then boom, you want to go ahead and act on it. But the brain is the side where you have to break it down. You know what I'm saying? You have to actually learn what it is that you're trying to do or what you're doing. But that brain is more analytical. You know what I'm saying? And so with that being said, at one point, and I must say, I attest, like, at one point, I didn't know the difference between the two, and I didn't know how to use both. I was just using the mind as a musician, as a ball player, as, just moving through life without really thinking. Now, when I started to use my brain, unfortunately, well, it's not fortunate, because it's part of the healing process. It's part of my journey. I learned how to use my brain when I was selling illegal things. And that's because I didn't want to do it for the fuck of it. I wanted to make sure that I made some kind of profit. And with that, it requires you to sit down and write some things. I went old school. I wrote it down. If that wasn't good enough, I put some numbers in my phone. I played with it in my notes. And that was the beginning of my journey. But because that wasn't promising, it's promising, but not for my life. I will say that. Because you can end, there's so many things that's attached to that, with it being illegal. And so, I knew that that's not the route that God had for me. And I sincerely knew that. And I knew that in my darkest hours. I knew it when I was in the midst of doing it. Because it would feel like them quickies, you feel me? Like something that, I knew I was supposed to do that. Even though it felt good, that money coming in, good, you know what I'm saying? But it didn't, I didn't sleep good at night. You see what I'm saying? So, fast forward, that's how I felt when I was designing grills. Even though it was more legal, it wasn't promising. I knew that people out here are serious about their hard work and money, and I knew the type of crowd I was pulling in. And it has nothing to do with ethnicity, color at all, race, sex. It has nothing to do with none of that. It was a fucking low vibing ass crowd who only liked material things and wanted to look good, And the brand sold itself. So I knew, I had no issue, with the brand, but it was the customer, it was the people I was attracting. And then I didn't understand why people coming at me crazy, threatening my life, all for these damn grills. You know what I'm saying? That 10K, 14K, 18K, and 22K. You know what I'm saying? And that's because it was a different crowd. And I knew then, fuck the money. You see what I'm saying? All money ain't good money. And just like a bad breakup, it took some time to grieve what I had created. I mean, it was beautiful. I mean, it's evil genius. And I say evil because of the type of energy that was behind it. And I just couldn't keep up with it anymore. I knew I was growing. And so I had to let it go. And even the after process of letting it go, it took some time to really figure out, like, how can I continue my healing journey? Because I finally realized that the healing journey is going to be however long. Hell, it might be for the rest of our lives. And with that, and accepting that, I need a brand that's me. You feel me? I need a brand. I want to attract people like me who understands that the healing journey is forever. That understands that we're continually growing and evolving. And that's how Evolve came. And so with that, I began to tap into things that reflects who I am. I'm a drummer, like the leather drum, the vintage stick bag. I've been a drummer since I was 11, and that's been one of the things that been keeping me going as well. And I wanted to have a product, and so that's where the vintage leather drum bag come from. As a matter of fact, the bags that I actually make, that style, is actually from the 1970s, in that era. So it's really cool. But anywho, I wanted a brand that could grow with me. And I think that's very necessary in all aspects of our lives, whether if it's a brand, whether if it's relationships, friendships, platonic, romantic, family, all that, And the more I tap into the healed version of myself, I realize that some things just no longer work for me, okay? And so it's a challenge. And I will say all these things came to me, believe it or not, in my darkest hour. And there's been times, I've witnessed where I would just go ghost on social media because I needed a break. You see what I'm saying? I needed a break. I needed some alone time. And I'm not going to lie to you, there's going to be times where I'm sure I will still step away so that I can continue to pour into myself or to release, you know? And you can't do that when there's so many different energies or people around or you're constantly consuming. No, you need to step away and sit in some solitude. And shout out to Candy Twisted Tea podcast. They were speaking on the healing journey this morning, and it just reminded me why it is that I built this brand. And so I just want to encourage you guys. I've been encouraged today, and I can honestly say that I'm on the right path. I'm not where I want to be, but I ain't nowhere where I used to be. And I definitely see the growth, and I'm excited about where my life is taking me. And I feel light. I feel good. I feel good about my brand. I feel good about my heart, my mind, my soul. Hell, I feel good about the food I'm about to eat. You feel me? Only because I made it. You feel me? And it takes that. It takes what it takes. So I just want to share that with you guys. I'm going to be posting this on my YouTube as well. I am a person of getting shit done, and I like to work with my hands, but it is necessary to kind of get the viewers to understand what it is that the person behind the brand, you know, and how it even started. So stay up, keep rising, keep diving deep, and you will get the answers that you need. Okay.